Welcome to the Crunch McDabbles Show. I'm your host, Crunch McDabbles. This is the only show where we break down the Alchemist into succulent, bite-sized morsels, topped with the delicious lemon zest. Today's show, Inside Alchemy. Here it is, everything that makes the Alchemist tick all in one place. We're going to go over all the moving parts so that you can see what makes them sing, what makes them swing, and what gives them their ring-a-ding-ding. So let's start with alchemy. Alchemy is going to be the source of your power. Now there are three kinds of alchemy: crafting, advanced alchemy, and quick alchemy. Now crafting, that one's just like the crafting that any class can do. The alchemist is going to be pretty good at crafting because they're an intelligence-based class, but crafting takes time and it takes money. If you have time in your campaign and you have some money and you want to do some crafting, I'd say go for it, but some campaigns aren't going to have downtime to craft. And even if they do, maybe you don't want to craft, and really you don't have to. So we kind of ignore the crafting for this discussion. It's there, but it's not really as cool as these other two alchemies. Advanced alchemy and quick alchemy, those are going to be the real power of the alchemist. They use something called infused reagents. Infused reagents are something you get every day as an alchemist for free just by being an alchemist. No strings attached. If you're an alchemist, you get infused reagents. It's just how it works. You get an amount equal to your level plus your intelligence modifier. So with the alchemist, you can see your ability score is going to increase the number of infused reagents you get, which makes alchemy really unique because for casting classes, your ability score has no impact on the number of spells you get. So that's great. Okay, let's start with advanced alchemy. This one's used during your daily preparation. So you start your day, you just rested, you have a brand new batch of infused reagents burning a hole in your pocket. You decide you want to use some of your reagents to stock up on some alchemical items for the day. So what you do, you spend some infused reagents and you make items. Now the best part is you spend one infused reagent and you make 2 items. So it's really efficient. Let's say you have the formula for a lesser elixir of life. You spend 1 infused reagent and now you have 2 elixirs of life ready to be used throughout the day. So to put this in perspective, if you were a first level alchemist with an 18 intelligence, you could spend all your infused reagents making lesser elixirs of life and make 10 of them. 10 of them every day. That's 30 gold pieces worth of elixirs that you just got for free just because you're an alchemist. Now, these items only last for 1 day or until you do your next daily preparations, but that's fine because the next day you get a new batch and you can do whatever you want with those infused reagents. But you also have quick alchemy. Quick alchemy also uses infused reagents, so whatever you didn't spend on advanced alchemy during your daily preparations you have left over, and these infused reagents can then be used for quick alchemy. Quick alchemy can be used at any time, even during an encounter. And quick alchemy is only one action, which is awesome. One action, and you make an item and it's in your hand ready to be used. Now the drawback to it is you only get 1 item for 1 infused reagent and it only lasts till the start of your next turn. Now there is a 4th level feat, Enduring Alchemy, that makes it last until the end of your next turn, but either way it's pretty quick duration. You make it and you got to use it right away. So you can see you have to decide whether to plan ahead and make bigger batches of things at the beginning of the day, being able to make items more efficiently using advanced alchemy, but then you're stuck with them. Or you make things on the fly less efficiently using quick alchemy, but you have more versatility. So inevitably you want to find the right balance here between these two. One other thing with quick alchemy, as you level, your quick alchemy improves in a couple of ways all on its own, just for being an alchemist through your class features. So at level 5, if you use quick alchemy and the thing you are making has a DC listed for it, let's say you're making a lesser Tanglefoot bag and the escape DC is 17, if you make the Tanglefoot bag with quick alchemy with 1 action, you could use your class DC if it was higher. So if you were 5th level and you made it with quick alchemy, it would have your class DC, which might be around 21 instead of 17, depending on what your intelligence is. So that's nice. And at level 9, another class feature improves your quick alchemy with double brew. When you make an item using infused reagents and quick alchemy, With a single action, you could spend 2 infused reagents and make 2 items, which is nice. Now it's going to burn through infused reagents, but it could be really handy. Let's say you just got slammed for a bunch of damage. You could use a single action and use 2 infused reagents and make 2 elixirs of life with it, with that one single action. And then you could spend your last 2 actions drinking them both, and boom, instant hit points restored. And at level 15, this improves even further. You can spend 3 reagents and that single action, and with quick alchemy, you can make 3 items now. What do you do with 3 items? You don't even have enough actions to use 3 items. You don't even have enough hands to hold 3 items. The point is, you can do it. And being able to do something is always cooler than not being able to do something. And that's a fact. And so that is alchemy. You have infused reagents, you have quick alchemy, you have advanced alchemy. That's the source of your power. That's what makes you cool. And next we have your research field. This is something you choose at first level and you kind of stuck with it. It's your framework or the skeleton for your character. If the alchemy is the power of your character, this is going to be the frame or the skeleton. And right now there are 4 choices. They're the bomber, the chirurgeon, the mutagenist, and the advanced player's guide added the toxicologist. Now the field of research gives you several different things. For one, at first level, you get some unique, and actually some of them are really strong abilities related to your field. For the bomber, you don't have to deal splash damage when you throw a bomb. It's an option. You don't have to do it, which is great because if you have allies adjacent to the target, you don't have to worry about frying them and getting everybody upset with you. You can have it just splash on the target and not your friends, which is nice. It's a good way to keep your friends. Now the chirurgeon can use crafting in place of medicine. So this is a skill improvement. It allows you to use your intelligence modifier instead of your wisdom modifier to make any type of medicine check, which is nice. It means the chirurgeon is going to be able to use medicine all the time. The mutagenist gets the mutagenic flashback. Now this is a free action that lets you gain the effects of a mutagen you consume that day for 1 minute. So it's a free action, which is nice, and it's powerful because it's basically the effects of drawing an item and drinking the item, which is 2 actions, and you get that all as a free action, which is great. But it's only once a day, so that part's not great. And the toxicologist, they can poison a weapon as a single action instead of 2 actions, and they can increase the DC of their poisons made with infused reagents to their class DC if they want to. And then at 5th level, your research field improves your advanced alchemy. Now this is nice because there are very few things that help your advanced alchemy, and this is one of them. So it needs some consideration just for that. Now, when you make items during your daily preparations using advanced alchemy, usually you make 2 items for 1 infused reagent, which is great, but now this gets even better. You can make 3 items, and on top of that, they can be any 3 items, not just 3 of the same item. The catch is they can only be certain items related to your research field. So the bomber can make any 3 bombs. The chirurgeon can make 3 elixirs of life instead of 2, which is gigantic. That's huge. The mutagenist can make it, you guessed it, 3 mutagens, and the toxicologist, yep, 3 poisons. So at 5th level, you can see you're going to be able to stretch out that advanced alchemy even further, even more efficiently with your daily preparations, making bunches of certain kinds of items. And then there's another thing your research field gives you starting at level 7, something called perpetual infusions. This time it's tied to your quick alchemy again, so a lot of things help your quick alchemy. Starting at level 7, you can use quick alchemy to make an infinite number of certain items, but the drawback is they're low-level versions of the items. But they're completely free, no infused reagents spent. And the other catch is only certain items related to your field, and you can only choose 2 of them, and once you choose them, you're kind of stuck with them. So for the bomber, it's bombs. For the chirurgeon, it's nope, not elixirs of life. That would have been great. Instead, it's antidotes and anti-plague. That's it. For the mutagenist, it's mutagens, but not all mutagens. It's only the 6 related to the ability scores. And finally, for the toxicologist, it's poisons. But remember, especially relevant to the bombs and poisons, due to powerful alchemy, that class feature you got at level 5, your perpetual infusions, since they're made with quick alchemy, you're going to have your class DC if there's a save with them because of the powerful alchemy ability you got. So even though these things you're making with perpetual infusions, even though they're low level versions, they could still have a higher DC. These perpetual infusions get better at level 11 and again at level 17, giving you higher level versions of the items you chose, but they're always going to be well behind your level, but they are free. I'd say the bomber seems like the one that benefits the most from these perpetual infusions, making it so they can always brew up a bomb and throw it without worrying about wasting infusions. And finally, in your research field, the last thing is the level 13 ability. And again, just like your level 1 abilities, these can be really powerful. The bomber increases the splash range on their bombs to 10 feet or 15 feet if they have expanded splash, which is awesome. The chirurgeon, when they make elixirs of life using quick alchemy, they get max hit points, no rolling the hit points on the elixir of life, which is crazy good. The mutagenist can be under the effects of 2 mutagens at the same time, which is crazy good. Simply just from a rules-defying sense, this overrides the rules for polymorph and says, sure, you can do this. Even though the rules say you can't, because you're a mutagenist, you can do it. And the toxicologist can make double poisons, so those are all great abilities at level 13. And that is your research field. That's your skeleton, that's your outline, that's your frame for your character. Now the last part is your feats. Your feats are going to be the flesh on the bones, the flesh of your character. Now most feats are related to one of the research fields. Take this first level feat, Quick Bomber. As a single action, you can take out a bomb and throw it. All as one action. That's awesome. Now this is clearly related to the bomber research field. And if you were a bomber, you would definitely want this feat. But here's the thing. Any alchemist could take this feat and benefit from it. None of the feats require you to be in a certain research field. And what this means is just because you're in a chirurgenist, let's say, it doesn't mean you couldn't get really good at throwing bombs by taking feats that help your bombs. Or just because you're a mutagenist, it doesn't mean you couldn't get really good at using poisons from your feats, or any combination like that. Which means now when you're making your character, you have to give careful consideration to the frame you're building on, that is your research field, and then add to that frame with your feats, putting flesh on the bones. One other thing with feats here, many feats are tied to quick alchemy exclusively. Take this feat Smoke Bomb at level 2. It has this trait additive 1, and it describes what that is in the description. It has to be a bomb that's at least one level lower than your advanced alchemy level. And your advanced alchemy level is just basically your class level. But it also says that it has to be a bomb made with quick alchemy, so it's exclusively quick alchemy. So you have to consider how your whole character works together. You have the improvements to quick alchemy that you got from your class abilities, that being powerful alchemy and double brew. And then you also have the perpetual infusions you got from your research field. So when you're choosing feats, you have to look at how they're going to work with the research field you chose. Now there's one feat that helps you out here, just in case you feel stuck in your research field and you want to branch out a little bit. At level 8, there's the feat Perpetual Breath, which lets you choose an item outside of your research field if you want to be used with perpetual infusions. So you could be a chirurgenist and take Perpetual Breath and be able to make an infinite supply maybe of a type of bomb using quick alchemy or some other combination like that. Perpetual Breath is really nice if you have some way you could benefit from a lot of low-level infusions from one of the research fields. So now that you see how this all fits together, let's go back to the research field, because really this is where it all starts. This is your frame you're going to build on. So you go to this and you look at all those first level abilities you get. You look at the things you're going to be able to make using advanced alchemy, the more efficient way to stock up on things. You look at the things you're going to be able to make using perpetual alchemy, that way to make things free. You look at the 13th level ability you get, and you look at all these things knowing you can make them better with your feats, or that you can use your feats to make you better at something outside of your research field. And that's how you decide to make your character. So maybe you like the idea of being a support alchemist who heals with elixirs of life, but you also want to use poison. So you have to decide which frame to build on, because you could do this a couple different ways. You could be a chirurgenist that uses a blowgun and pre-poisons their darts, Or you could take the toxicologist that stocks up on elixirs of life and takes the healing bomb feat at level 4. Either way, it gets you to the same place, but you just have to decide what you want. And that gives you a lot of fun choices to make. And that is it. That's Inside Alchemy. I've been your host, Crunch McDabbles. This has been the Crunch McDabbles Show. Go build an alchemist. I don't know why that's all it says right here. There's usually some kind of outro. Galarian's trying to kill you, whatever. Go build an alchemist. That's all it says.